The story revolves around a young girl named Yuna. Despite being bright and cheerful, Yuna faces fear and suffering as she battles leukemia in the children's hospital. The chemotherapy treatments she undergoes affect her mental well-being, often causing her to resist the treatment. However, her father has a secret weapon to cheer her up, with a bottle of drink featuring the face of her favorite celebrity, Han Kang-hee. Just the sight of it transforms Yuna into an enthusiastic and cheerful girl. Yuna is a devoted fan of Han Kang-hee, a popular celebrity in Korea known for her roles in dramas and movies. Despite Yuna's frequent letters to Kang-hee, she never receives a response. Kang-hee's fame has garnered her a large fan base, but she holds a disdainful attitude towards her fans, believing their love to be insincere. Surprisingly, Kang-hee finds solace in reading negative comments on social media, considering them to be more genuine expressions than the praise she receives. One day, Kang-hee strolled into her manager Ah-young's office. Ah-young seemed upset, pointing out Kang-hee's lack of care for her fans. Kang-hee, seemingly uninterested in her fans' feelings, casually asked Ah-young to scout for a new drama role for her. Ah-young hesitated, citing Kang-hee's tarnished reputation making it tough to land new projects. Just as Kang-hee prepared to leave, a staff member barged in carrying a heap of gifts and fan mail for her. Overwhelmed, Kang-hee demanded the gifts be returned and the letters stashed away. In the rush, 2 letters slipped to the ground, unnoticed by the departing staff. A sharp-eyed reporter, Sue, lurking nearby, seized this opportunity, snatching up one of the dropped letters, eager to use it against Kang-hee. In the hospital, Yuna, facing chemotherapy, felt scared and hesitant. Her father, Chong-sok, comforted her, offering to fulfill one of her wishes if she agreed to undergo the treatment. With this promise, Yuna reluctantly agreed. As she underwent chemotherapy, tears filled her eyes, deeply affecting her father. Chong-sok, a skilled lawyer, found himself working as a night driver to cover his daughter's medical expenses. Despite his handsome appearance, he was burdened by the need to support his sick daughter alone. After the chemotherapy, Yuna reminded her father of his promise. She asked for a reply from the artist Kang-hee to a letter she had sent. This request left Chong-sok feeling frustrated and uncertain. Seeking advice, he confided in his friend Yundo. Interestingly, Chong-sok and Kang-hee have been classmates, giving him a glimmer of hope in fulfilling his daughter's wish. The scene transitions to a cozy cafe where Kang-hee is having a meal with the director. The director speaks very sweetly in front of Kang-hee. However, when Kang-hee goes to the restroom, the director starts speaking ill of her. Kang-hee overhears this, leading to a heated argument. Angered, the director follows Kang-hee to the lobby, where a car pulls up unexpectedly, sent by Kang-hee's manager to rescue her. To Kang-hee's surprise, the driver turns out to be Chong-sok. This marks their reunion after a long time. Inside the car, they share lighthearted banter, reminiscing about old times. However, when Chong-sok mentions his daughter, Kang-hee's mood shifts, appearing disappointed. Chong-sok excitedly talks about his daughter's admiration for Kang-hee, but Kang-hee remains silent. Upon reaching Kang-hee's house, Chong-sok plans to ask her to reply to his daughter's letter. However, before he can bring it up, Kang-hee thanks him abruptly and goes inside the house, leaving Chong-sok feeling let down as he heads back home. In a flashback to their high school days, Kang-hee, a popular student, gets irritated by her fans, following her everywhere. Fed up, she ditches class and heads to a warehouse to smoke, using it to release her stress by smoking. Meanwhile, Chong-sok, a new student, also skips class and naps in the same warehouse, accidentally stumbling upon Kang-hee smoking. Kang-hee, caught in the act, panics and tries to hide her behavior, fearing her reputation as an artist will be tarnished. Unaware of Kang-hee's celebrity status, Chong-sok offers advice, surprising Kang-hee with his obliviousness. He becomes the first person to treat her coldly. Shortly after, a teacher arrives. Due to the smell of smoke, Kang-hee and Chong-sok quickly hide. The teacher suspects someone is smoking and hiding, causing Kang-hee to panic. To protect her, Chong-sok takes the blame, accepting punishment willingly. This marks the beginning of their acquaintance. Returning to the present, Chong-sok is at Yundo's convenience store when he spots a storybook titled The Letter Doll. Inspired, he decides to respond to his daughter's letter with a fabricated one. Finding a secluded spot, he writes back to his daughter, bringing her immense joy when she receives it. She excitedly shares the letter with everyone at the hospital and continues to correspond with Kang-hee. Though Chong-sok struggles to reply to his daughter's letters, seeing her happiness brings him joy. Meanwhile, news of Kang-hee discarding her fan mail goes viral. Yuna feels disheartened upon hearing this, as she believes Kung-hee wouldn't ignore her fans. This belief is reinforced by the continuous replies she receives from Kung-hee. Determined to clear Kung-hee's name, Yuna seeks help from a friend with a YouTube channel. By showcasing the replies she received, she uploads a video proving Kung-hee's dedication to her fans. The video quickly goes viral, reaching Kung-hee's ears, and her reputation starts to mend. Netizens are touched by Kung-hee's heartfelt responses, bringing hope to a child battling leukemia. Unexpectedly, Kung-hee is upset instead of grateful towards Yuna. She doesn't want praise for something she didn't do. Late at night, she visits the children's hospital to express her frustration to Yuna's parents, only to discover they are Chong-sok. Shortly after that, they go to the hospital rooftop, where Chong-sok bows down and begs Kung-hee not to reveal the truth. It explains that while the letter may seem insignificant to her, it's a source of immense energy for Yuna. Witnessing this heartfelt plea, reporter Soo tries to exploit the situation, but Yoon-do intervenes, thwarting his paparazzi attempts. Back at Kung-hee's home, she reflects on Chong-sok's words, pondering his words. The following morning, Kung-hee heads to the children's hospital. There she meets Yuna and her other fans. Yuna, overwhelmed by Kung-hee's visit, bursts into tears and embraces her, expressing her happiness. Kung-hee then reads stories to the children and generously donates 100 million won to the hospital. Her activities there are covered by various media. When Kung-hee asks Yuna what she desires, Yuna requests to visit Kung-hee's house. The next day, Yuna, Chong-sok, and their friend Dong-koo visit Kung-hee's house. Kung-hee warmly welcomes them, and as the children play, she confides her frustrations to Chong-sok, as it's the first time she's allowed someone else into her house. Despite feeling annoyed initially, Kung-hee's mood brightens as she believes she's fulfilling the children's dreams. Later, Kung-hee and Dong-koo record a video interview for their YouTube channel. Afterward, Kung-hee praises Yuna for her intelligence, remarking that she must have inherited it from her mother. This statement saddens Yuna and raises doubts. She recalls stating in her letter that she resembles her father, not her mother. Dong-koo reveals that Yuna's parents have been separated for a long time, with her mother residing in America. This revelation leaves Kung-hee feeling guilty towards Yuna. Meanwhile, frustrated by his inability to find damning evidence against Kung-hee, reporter Soo seeks help from an acquaintance. After a lengthy search, he discovers that Kung-hee and Chong-sok were friends in high school. Delighted by this revelation, Soo decides to use it against Kung-hee. In an article, he alleges that Kung-hee paid Chong-sok, her high school friend, to fabricate letters to boost her image. In a flashback to high school days, Kung-hee's friend Hae-ri harbors feelings for Chong-sok. However, she realizes he is interested in Kung-hee, sparking jealousy and dislike towards Kung-hee. In the present, Hae-ri, now an artist and radio announcer, feels upset seeing articles about Kung-hee and Chong-sok. After dinner, Chong-sok tucks Yuna and Dong-koo into bed before Kung-hee invites him for a drink. Over drinks, Chong-sok recounts a story about Yuna's sadness regarding her absent mother, though Yuna's grandmother reassures her, saying her mother is far away. Hearing her grandmother's words, Yuna became calmer and tried to accept the situation. Shortly after, Chong-sok's grandmother tragically passed away in an accident, deeply affecting him. Yuna, seeing her father's sadness, comforted him by reminding him that her grandmother was just in a faraway place. Chong-sok couldn't hold back his tears at his daughter's wise words, embracing her tightly. With Yuna's well-being now of his utmost concern, Chong-sok took on odd jobs, even working as a substitute driver, to support her. In the present, Kung-hee, moved by Chong-sok's story, understands his devotion to Yuna. While opening a beer, Chong-sok accidentally spills soda on his clothes. Concerned for his health, Kung-hee insists he changes. Amusingly, Chong-sok ends up wearing women's clothing in his search for a new outfit. Kung-hee finds this hilarious and captures the moment on her phone, much to Chong-sok's embarrassment. As they struggle for the phone, they tumble onto the sofa, creating a brief romantic moment. Closing her eyes, Kung-hee leans forward, momentarily lost in the moment, only to realize it was just her imagination. In the midst of this, Chong-sok sits at the dining table, deleting the embarrassing photo. Kung-hee feels irritated that he deleted her picture but gets flustered when he bids her goodnight and affectionately strokes her head. The following morning, Kung-hee rushes to shower and apply makeup, hoping to appear naturally beautiful for Chong-sok. However, she's embarrassed when Chong-sok notices the makeup, assuming she slept with it on. Shortly after that, they have breakfast together. Afterward, they rush back to the hospital, with Kung-hee intending to accompany them. As they're about to leave, Kung-hee receives a call from her manager, informing her about rumors of her paying Chong-sok to lie. Outside, journalists swarm their house, bombarding Kung-hee with questions about the alleged fabrication of the girl receiving the reply letter. They also question the authenticity of her relationship with Chong-sok as high school friends. Chong-sok, asserting his legal knowledge as a lawyer, warns of consequences for spreading false information, silencing the journalists. Yuna, seeking the truth, confronts Kung-hee in front of the reporters. Tearfully, she asks if Kung-hee truly replied to her letters, hoping for confirmation that Kung-hee cared unlike her absent mother. With hesitation, Kung-hee admits she never replied to Yuna's letters, shocking Yuna, who faints upon hearing the truth. Witnessing his daughter's collapse, Chong-sok rushes Yuna to the hospital. Observing Yuna from behind the ICU glass, Kung-hee is overwhelmed with sadness and guilt. Upon visiting Yuna, Kung-hee is surprised to see numerous photos of herself, which Chong-sok explains are Yuna's source of strength. Touched by this, they retreat to the hospital library. Feeling remorseful, Kung-hee wishes she had lied about replying to Yuna's letters. Chong-sok consoles her, reassuring her that the truth would have surfaced eventually. He then hands over a box containing all of Yuna's letters, triggering Kung-hee's trauma, causing her to drop the box in fear. This reaction prompts Chong-sok to recall a flashback where Hae-ri informed Kung-hee about a disturbing gift left in her locker by a fan. Curious yet anxious, Kung-hee found 2 boxes in her locker, opting to open the one on the left first. To her horror, she discovered a dead bird and a threatening message inside. This traumatic experience explains why Kung-hee refuses gifts from her fans, her fears stemming from this past incident. Chong-sok comforts Kung-hee, assuring her that not all fans are unkind. He encourages her to value and love herself. Kung-hee then expresses her preference for reading negative comments on social media, finding them more sincere than fake admiration. On their way home, Chong-sok asks about the unopened box from her locker. Kung-hee admits she never opened it, disappointing Chong-sok. However, she requests Yuna's letterbox back, willing to try accepting it. Meanwhile, rumors of fake fan mail persist, leading to Chong-sok being shunned by society. He faces accusations of exploiting his daughter for money from Kung-hee. Despite this, he remains resilient. On the other hand, Yuna reflects on the suffocating nature of fame, where people constantly scrutinize and slander her. She admits she knew Kung-hee never replied to her letters from the start. While strolling through the hospital corridor, Chong-sok accidentally catches Dong-ku recording for his YouTube channel. This sparks an idea in Chong-sok's mind. Through Dong-ku's channel, Chong-sok decides to come clean, urging people to stop blaming Kung-hee for a lie that originated with him. He confesses that he simply wanted to fulfill his daughter's dream and expresses gratitude towards Kung-hee for her involvement in the lie and for the joy she brought into their lives. Chong-sok's clarifying video quickly goes viral, upsetting Hae-ri even more out of jealousy. Later, Kung-hee meets Yuna, who gives her scented candles. Chong-sok then takes Kung-hee to their old school to reminisce. He jokingly advises Kung-hee to read the negative comments on her social media, leading to laughter at his own expense, despite advising her to ignore negativity earlier. At the school warehouse, they light the scented candles from Yuna, and Chong-sok presents the unopened gift box from their past, containing his own gift. Despite Kung-hee's past trauma from a similar box, Chong-sok gives it back as a symbol of his long-standing affection for her. Touched by Chong-sok's sincerity, Kung-hee is deeply moved. As they reminisce, they are caught by a security guard but manage to escape through a window, running happily through the fountain garden. The following day, Kung-hee, while boxing, was approached by the head manager regarding her unstable image and lack of offers for dramas or movies. The manager presented 3 options to fill her time. Option 1 was participating in a variety show. Option 2 involved reading bedtime stories for children in a hospital. The third option was to cameo in a film. Finally, Kung-hee chose the third option. Surprisingly, the film she was offered a cameo in starred Hae-ri, who was displeased with Kung-hee's involvement. During the shoot, Hae-ri continuously asked for retakes, causing tension on set. After filming, Hae-ri continued to criticize Kung-hee for agreeing to cameo without a script, suggesting she manipulated the media to enhance her image. Kung-hee defended herself, stating it was the director's request. Hae-ri, angered by this, persisted in her accusations against Kung-hee. In the end, Both Kum-hee and her mother faced insults from Hae-ri, which deeply stirred Kum-hee's emotions, causing her to speak harshly to Hae-ri. Filled with resentment, Hae-ri shared Kum-hee's past misconduct in high school with reporter Soo, leading to a further decline in Kum-hee's reputation. This resulted in the removal of many products she endorsed from the market, saddening Yoon-do, who witnessed the fallout in his supermarket. In the hospital, mothers gossiped about Kum-hee's situation, which she overheard while on her way to visit Yoon-na. Disheartened, Kum-hee fled and was followed by Chong-sok. In the emergency staircase, Chong-sok encouraged Kum-hee to confront the truth instead of running away. Kum-hee blamed him for her predicament, believing it stemmed from his initial lie about the fan mail replies. Despite her resistance, Chong-sok chose to support Kum-hee during her distress and offered her shelter at his house until things improved. The next day, Chong-sok arrived with groceries to find Kum-hee's temporary residence in disarray, prompting him to express his frustration. Meanwhile, the head manager instructed his assistant to arrange a meeting with Hae-ri, but she was unavailable due to sickness and trauma from her altercation with Kum-hee. The head manager grew suspicious of Hae-ri's supposed illness, questioning how someone sick could post cheerful photos on social media. The head manager then came to visit Kum-hee and Chong-sok. She inquired about Chong-sok's true intentions in offering shelter to Kum-hee. To her surprise, Chong-sok genuinely wanted to assist Kum-hee, which left the head manager feeling embarrassed. Explaining that he and his daughter resided in the hospital, Chong-sok assured the head manager that Kum-hee's stay was not an inconvenience. Eager for a private dinner with Chong-sok, Kum-hee politely dismissed the head manager and they enjoyed an intimate dinner together at the hospital. Meanwhile, mothers gossiped about Chong-sok's absence, suggesting he should be enjoying his youth instead of caring for his daughter alone. They sympathized with his situation, deeming Yoon-na a burden. Overhearing their conversation, Yoon-na grew upset and ran away, prompting a search for her. Panicked by the news of his missing daughter, Chong-sok began search everywhere, with Kum-hee and Yoon-do aiding him. Despite their efforts, Yoon-na was still nowhere to be found. When Chong-sok reached the hospital rooftop, he was shocked to find Yoon-na standing perilously close to the edge. He scolded her sternly, furious that she had ventured up there alone. Yoon-na, in response, questioned why she couldn't when her father had done the same before. She revealed that she had witnessed Chong-sok's attempting to do the unthinkable following his mother's death. Recalling that painful moment, Chong-sok had vowed to prioritize his daughter's happiness above all else, even if it meant sacrificing his own. This commitment led him to undertake various jobs and even fabricate fan mail for Yoon-na's sake. In the hospital corridor, Chong-sok expressed his happiness at reuniting with Kum-hee. However, he realized that his desire to be with her had caused him to overlook Yoon-na's well-being. Chong-sok decided it was best for him to focus solely on his daughter's happiness and requested Kum-hee not to meet again. Feeling dejected, Kum-hee returned home, coming to terms with the painful reality of parting ways with Chong-sok, the man she had once loved deeply. In an effort to set things right, Kum-hee boldly created a video to clear up misunderstandings. She revealed her true self and apologized for not addressing issues sooner. Additionally, her former school friend, Yeon-hee, stepped forward to refute the accusations made by Hae-ri. Kum-hee was not the person Hae-ri portrayed her to be. As a result, Kum-hee's reputation began to recover, while reporter Soo faced backlash from angry fans for spreading false rumors. Hae-ri, exposed for lying, issued a public apology. With her image restored, Kum-hee was offered a leading role in a Hollywood movie, requiring her to stay in America for a year. Kum-hee saw this as an opportunity to move on from Chong-sok. Meanwhile, Chong-sok received news of his ex-wife's passing, prompting him and Yoon-na to attend the funeral. Yoon-na, despite her grief, showed strength in bidding farewell to her mother. After the funeral, Yoon-na asked her dad if she was a burden that causing Kum-hee to dislike him. Chong-sok then assured her that she was his happiness, not a burden. Yoon-na also explained that when she was on the roof, she wasn't trying to do the unthinkable but was praying for Kum-hee and her dad to stay together. Hearing this, Chong-sok realized he could pursue his love and still make Yoon-na happy. He quickly called Kum-hee's manager to find out where she was. Learning she was at the airport, he rushed there but arrived too late to see her. A year later, Kum-hee had become a successful global star, shooting films in America. When she returned to her apartment, she found it filled with dolls, each containing recordings of Chong-sok reading fan mail. He had read all the letters, believing Kum-hee wouldn't open the gifts. Kumgi was deeply moved by Chong-sak's dedication to recording, even when tired. He even read a letter he wrote himself, urging her not to ignore her fans' hearts due to her trauma. This made Kumgi realize her mistake. She then took pen and paper, replying to each fan mail, thanking them sincerely. Her action went viral, delighting fans who received replies from her. When Kumgi returned to Korea, she credited a man who patiently supported her and helped her overcome her trauma, allowing her to open her heart to fans. During an interview at a TV station, Kumgi expressed gratitude to the man, revealing her change. Chong-sak and Yoona, witnessing this, felt proud of Kumgi's transformation. The story ends with Kumgi and Chong-sak's love story sailing on beautifully. Moral lesson from the story: when soda spills on your clothes, make sure you change, or you might end up wearing women's clothing by accident. And if you find a box you've never opened, it might not just be filled with surprises, but also with love and understanding.